Hello everybody, and just here, and welcome back to Symphogear, the finale, episode 13, the final episode of Symphogear XV. Whether it is the final episode of Symphogear as a whole, well, that remains to be seen. From what I heard during the concert, that was delayed quite a bit, by the way. They did talk a little bit about some mysterious new project they will be working on. Problem is, we don't know if it's going to be a spin-off, if it's going to be a movie, if it's going to be a whole new season. We have no idea. So today's episode might as well be the final episode of Symphogear as we know it. And whatever else we might get in the future will be spin-offs or OVAs or things like that. I wonder if they were to continue the show even after this episode, which is where I'm assuming they will finally defeat Shemha and finally get rid of her. I guess they can always bring a bigger villain, right? Like, those deities live in a little bit of a society, right? Haha, we live in a society. We know that Enki went against Shemha because Shemha went against the wishes and against what the Anunnaki, or whatever they are called in Symphogear, the demigods, the deities, whatever you want to call them again. Shemha was a little bit of an outcast kind of sort of deal, if I'm understanding it correctly. So there probably are other deities that can fuck shit up as well. But that would kind of be an introduction of a brand new threat. Because the threat of the demigods, of deities, of Shemha and the others was there in Symphogear since Season 1, essentially. So now to introduce something else would really feel like it's tacked on, right? Most of the seasons of Symphogear so far were fairly self-contained, in that the finale of pretty much any given season might as well have been the finale of the series, but there was that continuity, there was that underlying world building, the underlying threat. So now that the threat will be gone, I'm assuming, again, introducing a new one would really feel like forcing a sequel, as opposed to all the seasons we had that were kind of, you could argue they were forced sequels as well, because all of those seasons had a definite ending, but they weren't really, because again of the underlying threat, underlying themes, threads, whatever you want to call them. So I wonder what's the future of Symphogear gonna be after this episode is gone. Gone, that's actually a good word to use. I wanted to say done, but I said gone, and I can't help but think it might have been some sort of a Freudian slip, because I'm gonna be honest with you, there is a lot of apprehension in me, a lot of fear when it comes to the ending of Symphogear. It's a series that's been with this channel pretty much since its inception. Like the first season of videos I made, there wasn't any Symphogear back then, but from the second season, quote-unquote, onward, each season Symphogear was the one and only constant. Even when I dropped the amount of episodes released a week because of my job, Symphogear still had a place there. So it's kind of gonna feel like an end of an era in a way, and I'm afraid of what the new era will bring. I also know that a lot of people watch this channel and subscribe to my Patreon and whatnot pretty much because of Symphogear. My channel exploded, not really, but it really grew in popularity and my Patreon grew in popularity thanks to Symphogear. So now I am left wondering and afraid of what's going to happen when Symphogear is gone. But every story has to come to an end, doesn't it? Besides maybe One Piece. So, we're gonna have to watch this episode whether I like it or not, and what life brings after that, well, that remains to be seen. Right, so let's stop talking about that and let's start talking about Symphogear itself. In the previous episode, it was mostly just fighting with the trio of alchemists, and of course the threat on the Earth. Episode 12 ran kind of sort of in parallel to episode 11, so we got a different perspective on the events of episode 11. We know what the girls were feeling and thinking when they were in space watching Earth covered slowly, creepingly in a red layer of something, and now they will have to unfuck the world somehow, and it's not going to be an easy task, and I wonder how they will manage to do that. Of course, the easiest way would be to just defeat Shemha, and with Shemha's death, everything is reversed. Yggdrasil's hide back under the ground or shatter or whatever, and now we can rebuild the Earth or something like that. But something tells me it's not going to be quite that easy. What else happened in the previous episode? We of course got a bit of a redemption to our trio of alchemists. Very much a parallel to Saint-Germain and her friends. This trio also sacrificed their lives and scattered into golden dust, sacrificing themselves to help the girls win against the villain of the season, and helped bring them a little bit closer to Earth using their what's it called? The labyrinth. Not ideal labyrinth, conceptual labyrinth. They didn't manage to get them all the way there, but their contribution is still welcome. And of course the dire straits made the song in the hearts of our girls sing with a newfound strength or whatever, and now they have taken what seems to be a Chrysopia X-Drive form, and that's going to be cool. That's going to be interesting. I really like the Chrysopia form, and that together with X-Drive, that's gonna be something. That's gonna be something. Also, all throughout this season, they've been showing all sorts of weird and outlandish combos of gears, almost Megazord-likes. And now they have the X-Drive. So, how many sharks are we going to jump? I can't help but wonder, what the fuck is going to happen? I'm pumped up, and also a little bit afraid of what we're gonna see. One thing I'm certain of, it's gonna be hype. It's Symphogear. It has to be hype. So how about we just stop talking, because that's not hype, and start watching, and see that hype, right? To watch it, of course, you're gonna need your subs to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the video. And I'm also gonna have to ask you guys for your support. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon, linked in the description below, or not. Share my content, spread the word, costs you nothing, helps a lot. And with all of that out of the way, we can start watching Symphogear XV episode 13, the finale, in 3, 2, 1, go. Meteoroids falling, burning, disappear, then... Oh, right, this Bombilla is broken. Yep. The ethereal... the ethereal form. Yep. Thanks to hacking God. All of humanity joined their forces to hack a fucking god. That's a good question, actually. And that's one heck of a lot of foreshadowing. Of course. Yeah, I mean, what's overthrowing a god, right? So Carol is the 7th Purple Ranger. All this time I thought it's gonna be Miku, but turns out it's Carol after all. Yeah, they need Hibiki's power. God-slaying fist is the only thing that can slay a god. Surprise, surprise. Yeah? That's actually a very interesting fight, isn't it? Symphogear user versus a Symphogear slayer. God slayer versus God. So they have classes prepared all the way up to an angry god. And of course, a large form. Every villain needs one. That's actually right. She is literally a deus ex machina right now. What are those? Noise? Or something worse? Ah. Okay, so we know there are more gods, and they live in some sort of a society, and they fight with each other and whatnot. Oh, okay. Chris is a stand now. Why not? Yeah, now you can see it's actually Senshojin with this round thing. I mean, honestly, Shemha's dream isn't that bad in its essence. Okay, that's a lot of chakrams. Combo, of course. By our powers combined, Gundam. Okay. Okay, everybody's using a fist. What? Okay, it can't be that easy. Of course, it can't be that easy. Just a moment to waver. Okay, what saved them? Don't tell me Carol's sacrificing herself. Don't tell me every single fucking alchemist we've known is just going to sacrifice themselves and die. Okay. Silver versus gold. Yeah, get a grip. Get a grip, Hibiki. Yeah! Hell yeah! No better motivation than a little bit of selfishness. We've already learned that curse and blessing are very much relative. Okay. Carol's powerful. Turned a piece of God into gold. Okay, so Carol is no more. Oh, she's moving the planet. Where's she moving it, though? Fuck's happening? Well, that looks like collecting souls or whatever. Right, I mean, every human is a part of the network, but... And Hibiki is gathering her own strength. Okay. Please do. And the music kicks in. Yep. Dato Shtemo. The words of power. Oh, they're a perfect match. That's true. Yeah. Right, Hibiki's power is to connect people, isn't it? And now that people are connected, and she's connected to them... Metanoia. I'm gonna have to look up what that means. Okay, Hibiki just evaporated a god, and Miku is probably safe. Okay, so we are 11 minutes in. We still have, like, at least 12 more minutes. Is Shemha really actually dead? Is there any other threat looming somewhere? Or are we just going to get 12 minutes of essentially an epilogue? I mean, she's still kind of there, so... That's seventh alchemist that sacrificed themselves. Carol had a really elaborate redemption arc, didn't she? Okay, so... Right, Shemha might have been defeated, but the things she triggered won't stop that easily. That's a reasonable assumption. Hasn't the planet been sped up on its orbit or something like that, though? Will destroying Yggdrasil revert that as well? Or is the year gonna be permanently shorter? Humans are adaptable. Whomst? Meek with Shenshojing? Right, that was Shenshojing activation song, of course. 7th Ranger, 7th Purple Ranger. Yep. That's a dope-ass gear. And she looks like a bride. With a veil and dress. So you need to destroy all of them simultaneously. Yep. Because now you have 7. There's 7 of you. Exactly. 7 planets, 7 nodes, 7 rangers. Sure, probably, possibly, maybe. That's gonna be the last song during the concert, isn't it? And also, you already have the tools to convey your feelings. I mean, you speak the same language. Maybe? Oh, hello, Ryoko. Hello, Enki. Hello, Ver. Okay, everybody's here. The gang is back again. Miku at the center. The old guard, Miku, the new guard. Quote unquote new. Fleeting melody. This is not the best song in the world, this is just a tribute. We couldn't remember the best song in the world, no. It's just a tribute. I like the battle damage on Hibiki's earpiece. And run. Probably a good idea. Millions dead because shards of Yggdrasil are falling on the ground. Oh, are they gonna lose their powers? Oh, hello, Shemha. That looked like their very things got broken. Relics, whatever. Sure. Being a part of a hive mind has its pros, but it's mostly cons. You will become a god now in my place, Aoyuki. Okay, Shemha just let them go. And even brought back their clothes. What about the relics? I wonder. They might not be strictly necessary anymore, but... It looks just the same as the world of yesterday, honestly. Okay, are we gonna get something after credits? I was honestly expecting something during the ending. Some, like, vignettes of their life. Happy life ever after. It couldn't have ended that way, could it? There has to be something after credits. Maybe not a cliffhanger for next season or series or whatever, but there has to be something. Like, I don't know, do a 5-year time skip or something and show where they are now. Tsubasa and Maria towering the world, singing their concerts. Hibiki, I don't know, having her own bakery. I don't know why, but it's kind of fitting for Hibiki to have a bakery. No, we're not getting anything after credits. Just the cast. Or, yeah, okay, we are getting something. Kazanari grave. Finally, some hand holding. Aishiteru yo? Daisuki da yo? Or just suki da yo? Or is it just never going to be revealed? It's just never going to be revealed. Okay. Okay, Finn. Finn of the series as a whole, I'm assuming. Huh. An end of an era, isn't it? Not gonna lie though, that ending kinda left me wanting a little bit more. It did left me wanting. Perhaps Zesso Shinai is going to satiate that want. We'll see. We shall see. Huh. Very serene ending, wasn't it? Hmm. Uh, I'm gonna have withdrawals. I'm gonna have withdrawals for sure. I'm gonna have a someone called it, like, what was it? Something hangover, media hangover or whatever. When you finish, when you keep watching some show or keep reading some book, and it accompanies you every week or every day or what have you, and then you finish it, and you're going through withdrawals, you're going through a little bit of a hangover because there is no more. You can't like supplement yourself with anything more. I don't know, I guess I'm gonna have to start reading some fanfiction. If you have any Symphogear fanfiction to recommend, please do. Please do. I bought a Kindle for the explicit purpose of reading fanfiction. So, if there's something you would recommend, go to my Discord and share a link to, I don't know, AO3fanfiction.net or whatever, or tell me in the comments or what have you. I mean, at least we still have the concert, we still have the Zesso Shinai, and whatever future projects there might be. Okay, how about we spend a little more time with Symphogear and watch this episode again? Shall we? Yes, we shall. Subtitle: Meteoroids falling, burning, disappear, then... I pulled a lot of dry... dry leaves into my mouth. I need a new bombilla. This one kinda sucks. I hate when it happens. Okay, regardless. X-Drive, we of humanity struggled against the god with our own power, with instant coffee, some potato chips, and hacking. Humanity's power, nerds in front of PCs. And yeah, a lot of foreshadowing on Miku's part. Oh, I need some clear water. To wash the leaves again. Away, not again. Yeah. Okay. That was a lot of foreshadowing from Miku. In general, Miku was kind of the central theme, central part of this season, wasn't she? Her desire to also be of help, her desire to not just be a damsel in distress, but to not just be saved by Hibiki and helped by Hibiki, but also be the one who can save Hibiki, who can help Hibiki. And in the end, she did. She did achieve that. Not for a long time. I feel like it was... I don't know if wasted potential is the greatest way to put it, but... Miku's Symphogear form appearing for just a few minutes, again, left me wanting more. Left me wanting, like, a full season with 7 Symphogear users now, with the addition of Miku. But we can't really have much room left to make any future stories now, do we? There was one moment where I thought that it might be a decent potential for a next season. Kind of a shame they didn't take that chance, but I understand that they wanted to end the story sooner or later. Regardless, we'll talk about it when we get there. With 7 of us, overthrowing a god or 2 should be simple. That's a line you can hear only in Symphogear, and perhaps in some Trigger shows. Although no, in Trigger shows it's usually aliens, not gods. Which makes me wonder, Trigger is now making Dungeon Meshi. How are they going to bring aliens to Dungeon Meshi for a finale? I don't know how they will manage that, but maybe they will. Would be interesting. Why did songs first fill the heavens? Why did humanity first use words? It was because their lonely hearts desired to understand one another. When you're alone, a melody has no meaning, just a cry for help. Sure. who struggled and survived, so don't underestimate humanity. Indeed, humanity's biggest strength is adaptability and tenacity. Simple as. You put humans on a desert, they'll figure out how to survive. You put them beyond the North Pole, or at the North Pole, they'll figure out ways to survive. Forests, check. Islands, check. Swamps, check. No problem. Up high in the mountains where normal people can't breathe because the air is so diluted, there's so little oxygen. Well, there are tribes that have a mutation of their red blood cells so that they can transport more oxygen, and they can survive there without issue. Humanity is infinitely adaptable. And whenever we get to live on the moon or on Mars or Venus or wherever else, humanity will adapt. As long as humans can vaguely survive in an environment, they will adapt to it. The only environments that humans cannot adapt to is ones that instantly kill them. So like the vacuum of space, for example. We might have a God Slayer, but she's a Symphogear Slayer. That's poetic, isn't it? Symphogear Slayer versus Symphogear Slayer who's a god versus a God Slayer who's a Symphogear. Combat, combat, combat. But we're still cutting through her barrier somehow. That was actually surprising, that they were able to deal any sort of damage to Shemha. Hibiki, I would understand, because Hibiki is a God Slayer, but the fact that Shemha got caught in Carol's web, the fact that they managed to shatter her shield and whatnot, yeah, this moment when her shield just shatters, like, no problem, no big deal. That really shows the strength, the power of Symphogear users. That they can go toe-to-toe with a god. Of course, second form, you whittle down the health bar and the second health bar appears. Now she's getting serious. What I wanted wasn't the power. It was the future that lay beyond it. At the core, and that seems to be a kind of sort of theme with Symphogear villains. They have good intentions, but the execution kind of sucks, right? Like, Fine wanted to free humanity from the curse of Balal, good, by becoming humanity's ruler. Execution sucks. Then we had... who was next? Ver. Was Ver? Yeah, I think Ver was next. Ver wanted to save humanity, bring them on the Ark to save them, and he also wanted to be humanity's hero, so bad execution and killed so many people. Carol... Okay, Carol's goals kinda sucked as well. Her goal... I mean, okay, her goal was understanding the world. To understand the world, she needed to dissect it, so the execution sucked. Then you had Saint-Germain and her friends, and Adam. What did they want? I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember their, like, public-facing motivations. I just remember their true motivations, or at least Adam's true motivation, to become a god. So the execution and the true goal also kind of sucked. And then you have Shemha, who also wants to unite people, but she wants to do that by merging them all into a hive mind, so that kind of sucks. And killing however many people. That seems to be a running theme here. And those I don't think those are noise. I think those are something else, some sort of godly creations, angels, I don't know, biblically accurate angels could very well be. Even we gods are still individuals, clashing with one another as a result of our own delusions. So she also wanted to kind of fix the problem that she noticed in the society of gods itself. Gods are also divided because they are individuals. If they were all just a singular deity, they wouldn't be fighting with each other because everybody would intimately understand each and everyone else's motivations. Right? I guess Miku had a point when she said that she wanted people to understand each other, to be able to voice her feelings truly and fully. Words can get you only so far after all, can't they? To truly understand each other, you kinda need to enter their mind and they need to enter yours. You need to merge into a singular mind. Anything less than that is not fully understanding. That's an interesting topic to think about. The limitations of language, the limitations of communication. Yeah, Shemha is kinda sorta right. Kinda sorta, but again, the execution sucks. And yet we are called perfect beings. Chris has a stand, why not? Why not? Honestly, at this point, it doesn't even surprise me. What does surprise me, though, actually, is how tame the fight is, how tame the attacks are. Right? Like, Chris had the stand, and then Kirika, Shirabe, and Maria brought about a Gundam. But we've seen some much more outlandish things happen in this season and in the previous one. Some, when Kirika and Shirabe created that pad for the airplane to land or start, can't remember. When it was mostly Kirika and Shirabe combining, wasn't it? But Chris combined with, I think, Tsubasa and Hibiki, I want to say, when they created that, like, airship with a blade up front or whatever the fuck it was. I was expecting shenanigans like that during this fight, but there wasn't any. For the most part, it's Tsubasa just using her flaming sword, Hibiki using her fists. Chris is being an outlier here with her stand, and of course the Gundam brought by the by Kirika, Shirabe, and Maria. Imperfect words, incapable of allowing even the slightest mutual understanding. That she accepted me, if only for an instant. And yet she's crying, because Miku realized that she didn't want to accept that it was a mistake. But I understand why she accepted it, and it actually makes sense. Miku had the feeling, she had the notion that she needs some proper, full understanding between humanity as a whole in order to fully express her feelings for Hibiki. And here comes Shemha saying, hey, I can actually allow for that. That's actually my goal, full understanding between humans. And so Miku agreed, and now there's no taking that back. Lots of chakrams, Ring of Flame, and Ergetlam Slice. Yeah, that combines, and then Ergetlam joins. And I thought it's going to be an elaborate spear at first, but then it suddenly just transformed into a Gundam with with chakrams for arms and and bunny ears and Kirika's horn and boobs, and it didn't even attack per se. It just turned into a projectile and smashed into Shemha. I expected it to, you know, just go and fight and swing a sword and whatnot, but no. Why was it even a Gundam? It could have just been an elaborate spear, because it was a projectile in the end. But sure, make it a Gundam, why not? It's fucking Symphogear after all. We're jumping the shark. Now's our chance. Believe in justice and let courage bloom in your fists. We'll build a bridge to tomorrow and save the future. Is this the moment when everybody uses their fist? It is, yeah. Everybody forgoes their weapons and just uses fists. The strongest weapon of them all. Because it is the weapon that connects people, the hand. The hand of God. Or the hand of a God Slayer. And also, interestingly, everybody's fist shines with that yellow light. I wonder if it's just sparks from flying at supersonic speeds or whatever, or is it actually Hibiki powering them up, so to speak, giving them a little bit of her gut-slaying power. But of course, Shemha is cunning and briefly turns back into Miku. Are you going to kill me with your cursed fist? And Hibiki kind of reverts again. That's like the 5th or 6th or 7th or however many time that Hibiki is like, oh no, my fist is bad because it can only attack and kill. And someone tells her, no, but it can save. And Hibiki's like, oh right, it can save. I'm gonna save. And then she's again like, oh no, my fist can only hurt and punch and kill. No, but Hibiki, it can also save. Oh right, it can save. And it's the same here. Oh no, my fist is cursed, it can only kill and punch. And Carol's like, no, but it can also save. And Hibiki, of course, oh right, it can save. It's... I'm not a huge fan of how much character development Hibiki goes through. She goes through character development and then forgets about it, then goes through it again, forgets about it, goes through it again, forgets about it. Every other character had one moment like that, when they completely forgot their character development and had to relearn it. Besides Tsubasa and Maria, in that season, the two of them actually went through some proper character development. But Hibiki has been through it like 5 times already, and she still hasn't learned it. Like, I understand what they're doing here from the narrative standpoint, right? From the story standpoint. They need to introduce some stakes. Will she? Won't she? Oh no, she has a weak moment right now. She's faltering. She stopped believing in herself, yada, 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 yada. We need to have an epic moment of giving her her confidence back so that Hibiki can stand up strong and be like, no, but it can also save, and I'm gonna save. And punch Shemha in the face and save Miku. I understand why, but I don't know. It feels like Hibiki could have had a little bit more character development if it was permanent, but it was made impermanent for whatever reason. Epic moment of a fight between Carol and Shemha, burning memories, but Carol decided to sacrifice herself, as seems to be a theme for for alchemists. Silver versus gold. Silver and gold won't save my rotting soul. What will you do? And she decided, I want to take Miku for myself. Not to help other people, but because that's what because that's what I want. A moment of not realization, but kind of being true to herself. Because all this time Hibiki was like, no, it's saving other people. No, I'm selfless. Helping, saving, helping, saving. This is the first time when she's like, I want to save Miku. Fuck the humanity. I don't care about humanity. I want to save humanity. I want to save Miku. I want to have her for myself. That's what I want. That's my desire. Not the good of all, my desire, my little bit of selfishness. That's cool. That's cool. That's a fair bit of character building, character development right here. Then continue reaching out your hand like you once did for me. Your hands hold the hopes of everyone you've ever met. Indeed. All the people she met so far, all their hopes, the hopes of the entire humanity, because Hibiki is their only hope, their last hope. This is the beginning, and just those branches have thrusters in them. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Forcibly increasing the Earth's orbital speed, so I'm assuming it's increasing how fast Earth moves on the orbit. But that would also displace the orbit, wouldn't it? Because the more the centrifugal force that grabs the Earth away from the sun is countered by the gravitational power of the sun. And that's why Earth is where it is, because that's the point where the centrifugal force and the gravity balance out. You increase the angular momentum with thrusters, you increase the centrifugal force. So Earth gets further and further from the sun. I wonder. I know that there might not be future seasons. But I gotta note it down. Just in case. Just in case. In the after credits scene, we see a winter. I wonder if it's a permanent winter. Earth is now further from sun, hence winter. I wonder, because it would make sense. And sure, they destroyed the Yggdrasil and whatnot, but if it managed to change Earth's orbit, I don't suppose it reverted that. That would actually be an interesting material for a couple of OVAs or a movie or something, bringing Earth back to its old orbit. And one more theme, but again, I'm gonna talk about it when we get there. Because there could have been some material still left, and Earth being kind of fucked up is a little bit of material that can be explored still, if you ask me. I don't know how. It could be just a short series following S.O.N.G and research and whatnot, because there's nobody to fight, really. They just need to figure out a way to put thrusters on Earth and lower its orbit again, or whatever. I'm not sure if it would make a fun series to watch, though, because it would just be sciencing and shit. Moon is covered by the sun, by the Earth, lunar eclipse, and everybody is frozen, everybody is connected to the network now, and Shemha can use the collective power of humanity. Even other Symphogear users seem to be connected to that network. And then, as the all-present, all-knowing Shemha, I will ravage it into submission. Bioterminal network, yada yada yada. Everybody else is frozen, but not Hibiki. Not Hibiki, of course. Your power allowed you to escape the connection. How exactly? Hibiki's power is god-slaying. I don't know how that would stop the connection. Hibiki's power is connecting with other people. I'd say that only helps the connection, not obstructs it, but maybe that's what it is. Or maybe it could be because she's clear of the curse of Balal. She's been cleansed, just as Miku, so she isn't a part of the network. That would probably be the most... the explanation that makes the most sense. I'm taking Miku back. Not I'm saving the world, not I'm saving humanity, not I'm defeating you. I'm saving Miku. Just that and only that. That is my sole, solitary goal. Strike down this body and you will kill her? No, I will not. Simple. No, I will not. I won't. Duh. You're telling me that by killing you, I'm gonna kill Miku? Well, I simply need to not kill Miku. Simple. Simple. Oh, you're sick. Well, just don't be. Duh. I love this logic. I love Hibiki's logic. Oh, you will fail. When you strike me down, you will kill Miku as well. No, I won't. I just won't. I'm just not gonna. Oh, you're going to fail. Even though I'm not gonna. Da to sztemo. Simple. Dad taught me that curses and blessings are two sides of the same coin. I can turn a curse into a blessing. I have all the fragments within this body. Yeah, what? So what? My hopes and dreams, my feelings for Miku. Who says they're no match for 2,000 years of curses? That's the second moment in this episode that's this nonsensical and epic in its nonsense. Right? First, it was Carol saying, "Oh, with all 7 of us, we can kill a god or two, no problem." Then that's the third time actually. Then it's Hibiki being like, "Oh no, I won't kill her actually." And now, who says my hopes and dreams and my feelings are no match for 2,000 years of curses? 2,000 years of curses. What the fuck is that in comparison to my love for Miku? That's nothing. That's a drop in a bucket. I love it. I love it. Everybody's freed from the influence. We'll take it back so that everyone can have it equally. Humanity's future. With the curse of Balal gone, it's not just gods who can bring people together. She's gathering up the people's hopes. Is the curse of Balal actually gone? Wait, it is, isn't it? Does it mean that humanity now has a universal language? That really makes me wish for some epilogue. For episode 14 or an OVA or a movie or something that deals with the aftermath. Because we have Earth potentially knocked out of the orbit. We have humanity potentially now using a common tongue. Yeah, it could really use an episode of an aftermath. I wonder if it's gonna be mentioned in the Zessoshinai. I hope. She's gathering up the people's hopes. This hand that reaches out and connects is my armed gear. Yeah, Hibiki doesn't need a spear. She has her fist. She doesn't need anything more. Not even a fist, an open hand. She's not punching, she's just pushing. And just like that, Shemha's blade vanishes. That's a long-ass blade. Did she really overcome the curse? Yeah. Of course she did. She's too pure, too stupid, and too innocent for any curse to stay in her mind. She just doesn't worry about it. And thus it doesn't exist. And a hug. Metanoia. That seems to be vaguely Greek. Metanoia. Ancient Greek. What do you know? Changing one's mind. Change in one's way of life resulting from penitence or spiritual conversion. In Christian theology. In psychology, it is the process of experiencing a psychotic breakdown and subsequent positive psychological rebuilding or healing. So kind of an ego death, I'm assuming. In rhetoric, it's a correction. In theology, it's a conversion and reformation or repentance. It's a film production company. A word for the act of prostration in Christianity. And plenty of bands and songs and albums named Metanoia. Okay, so a conversion, changing one's mind, makes sense. Makes sense. And penitence and whatnot. Shemha screams music to my ears. Bracer, breaking, and Shemha's spirit. That looks kinda goofy, not gonna lie. Just vanishing as well. Boom. And the moon is back to being yellow instead of red. There's still the crater, there's still the rings, but at least the color is back. Miku is saved. So this is what I get for using the song that ends the world in a way it was never intended. And thus Carol is dead because she burned her very self. Just like 6 other alchemists before her did. I will remember you every day. And Yggdrasil apparently turns server lights into RGB and blows them up. And now we have to destroy Yggdrasil's core. And not just destroy Yggdrasil's core, we need to destroy all Yggdrasils at once. Because when you destroy one core, well, the other will resume the function. So you would have to destroy all of them one by one. And that's a lot of work. So just get rid of them all at the same time. Those weird monsters, they look cool. They look dope. I really like their design. Kind of a shame we don't know what they are. I was wondering for a moment what this song is. Are they all singing? Because, you know, I saw Maria's open mouth, Chris's open mouth. Are they singing some new song? Or is it their suicide song? Or what is it? What are they singing? But no, they are just surprised. Because it's the Senshojin activation. And the 7th Ranger is here. I don't want to spend any more time just following you from behind. Let's take a quick look at the design. Similar to Shemha's, but those are some weird pants. It's kind of dress kind of pants. Like at the top, they are like chaps and turn into pants, and then they merge into a dress. And of course the veil or whatever it's called. Very bridal look for her. Very, very bridal. I want to see what you see by your side. Little bit of a crown, little bit of a horn. And the veil, the biggest feature probably. So there will be a new main shaft. Yeah, that's what we learned. Phonic gain. There's 7 of you now. So you have all the more power. Seven planets, 7 notes, 7 voices, 7 songs. 7 times as much power. You'll manage. You will manage. Then there's no need to hesitate any further. Let's believe in the songs of our hearts and let's just do it. And Miku is super happy to finally be part of the team. She finally belongs. She's no longer just sitting behind a desk and watching as they risk their lives. She can risk her life too. What a nice moment, isn't it? I love how happy Miku looks right now. She finally got what she wanted. I wish she also was in her X-Drive form, but alas. Also, there's an interesting implication to the fact that she can use Shenshojin. She's compatible. Isn't it? First time she used Shenshojin, it was because Ver modified her with some, like, brain implant thing. Second time she used it was because of Shemha, and Shemha, I'm assuming, could just force compatibility. Now it's just Miku, just plain Miku, without any implants, without any god residing in her mind. She's just compatible with Shenshojin. Interesting. Was she compatible with Shenshojin all this time? And a song that will surely be sung during the concert. At the end of it, most probably. 7 harmonies indeed. And everybody is back, at least briefly. Yeah, 7 pillars. Here's Ryoko / Vine with Enki. Oh, that was the god she fell in love with. Of course, makes sense. And they are together again. Nastasia. Ver. Doing a cool pose. Don't mention it. I love Ver's character. Those 3 are here. And those 3 are here. And Carol and her father. And Tsubasa's father. And what's her face? Kanade. Who else? Maria's sister, Selena. Anybody else? No. That's everybody. Humanity's independence. And just like that, let it resound throughout the future. Problem solved. 7 colored spheres, just like in the ending. Just like in the ending. Not gonna lie, it was a bit of a cool fake out. I honestly thought the purple one, the 7th Ranger, is gonna be Carol. But it didn't quite fit because she's an alchemist and everybody else is a Symphogear user. I expected a 7th Symphogear user, but then I was like, oh, okay, I guess Carol kind of makes sense. She can use phonic gain and whatnot. Sure, I can take it. But no, it was a fake out. The 7th Ranger is Miku. And I like how they are positioned. Miku at the center, the old guard on the left, and the new guard on the right. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool moment. everything collapses, cracks, and shatters. I really, really want an episode that deals with the aftermath. I really, really want it. Because pillars like that growing out and then hiding beneath the earth, and all those branches crumbling and falling, that's not a net neutral for the world. Add to that a change in the orbits. There has to be some aftermath. We're running, and Shemha's last grasp. This is some great visual. I love it. This big Shemha ghost. There's Symphogears shattering, falling apart. I fully expected them to lose their powers completely. Again, that's not something that's been said explicitly, whether they lost their powers or not. Also, I love this single frame of black. Can I see this frame? Please. Please work. Okay, whatever. Yeah, okay. Her relic shattered, and she's naked. So probably their very relics shattered, and they no longer have any sort of powers. They no longer have Symphogear. But Symphogear isn't necessary anymore, is it? The noise is gone, Shemha is gone. Their powers aren't needed. And a little bit of a talk with Shemha, a little bit of talk no jutsu. Why do you refuse to meld into one? Oh, they will meld into one, don't you worry, Nan. Eventually they will. It's precisely because we can't understand each other easily that we can care for others and come to love them. Yeah, kinda. If all of humanity shared the same mind, it would be mighty boring, wouldn't it? Everybody the same? Everybody knows everybody else's struggles? Everybody knows everybody else's hopes? There would be no caring, there would be no love, there would be nothing if everybody was the same, if everybody was a part of the same hive mind. I don't want anyone to take that away from us. Even if it causes you pain and suffering in the future, hell fucking yeah. It's worth it. Dato Shtemo. If we get hurt, we can keep walking forward on our own 2 feet, but we will do it. We, like humanity, collectively, and every single one of us as an individual. Also interesting, their clothes are gone, but their hair accessories, the pins and the bow are intact. That supports my theory that hair accessories for anime characters are just a part of their hair. We can forge the future with a light unknown to the gods themselves. That's a mighty statement. And of course, Shemha has also been quickly redeemed. She's fine with that now. I see your point! Duh! Should have told me earlier. I wouldn't have gone through the whole, destroying the world thing. Thanks for explaining. I can see your perspective now. Sure, go ahead, fulfill your duty. Tomorrow belongs to you. Sorry for all the distraction, but we really should have talked earlier, So, sorry for that. Whoopsie-doo, my mistake. But, hey, the tomorrow now belongs to you, so it's kinda your issue. Kinda your problem. And just... huge fists placed them gently on the ground and disappeared into dust. And gave them clothes back. So that's very nice on Shemha's part. The energy disappeared, but the trunk is still there. I want, again, aftermath, time skip, something. What are they gonna do with those trunks? Are they gonna carve them out and build a shopping mall? That'd be kind of cool. A city inside of an ancient, or a city inside of an ancient, spire or what have you. Are they gonna be like scientific research sites? What will they glean from that technology? Are they gonna be travel destinations, like a resort at the edge of an Yggdrasil crater, or I really want an episode after a time skip. 5 years, 10 years, whatever. Give me a time skip. Show me how the world works now. This is the world of tomorrow that you all brought forth. Indeed. I was really hoping that we're gonna get some silent vignettes with no voice acting, no dialogue, no nothing. Just some animated vignettes of how the world looks right now. I know Hibiki panicking because she's failing her classes, and Miku hugging her to reassure her, Chris eating, and I don't know, Tsubasa wiping her face, Tsubasa and Maria singing together a concert on a stage that was carved out of the remaining, Yggdrasil trunk. That would be epic. Things like that. It's sorely missing from this ending. Just a black screen with text is such a wasted opportunity, if you ask me. Metanoia. Is Metanoia a band that made music? Because that would also make sense why Metanoia was the name of the last attack, I guess. And instead, we just see the cast briefly. And a little bit of after credits. Here lie the sentinels of the Kazanari clan. Those flowers are photos? They are photos. Yeah, they are photos with some filter, or a watercolor painting that they took a photo of or scanned and cropped to make it transparent or something. They look very, very different from the rest of the art style. Very distinct. I guess it's early spring because there are some blooms on the trees, and yet there is still snow. And everybody's here. Everybody is here. But in our struggles to do so and our frustration when we can't, we have created so many wonderful things. The tenacity and ingenuity of humanity, the strongest power in the universe. And hand-holding. Oh, wait. We get a little bit of an aftermath. Ruins of it. Are those ruins of a city? Or are those trees? On the right, it looks like trees. On the left, it looks like ruins of a city. I hope it's ruins of a city. And also, interesting detail, you can see all the stars and the Milky Way and everything clearly because the power is probably out. No light pollution. This is what sky would look like if there was no light pollution. Cool detail. Cool detail. I hope it's a cool detail and not me just misunderstanding something. There's something I've been wanting to tell you for a long time. Yeah, me too. Insta blush. I hope what I want to tell you is the same thing you want to tell me. Kinda sucks that it's left in the air, you know? I mean, we can assume what they wanted to say, right? I love you. Or something to that effect. But I really like it to be spelled out explicitly and not just left hanging in the air, because for all we know, Hibiki might say, "I'm hungry." Wouldn't be out of character, wouldn't be out of tone for the show either. Miku wanted to say "I love you." Hibiki wanted to say "I'm hungry." Wanna go grab some okonomiyaki at the Flower, you know, something like that. But we will never know. We will never know. And the two stars falling, meteoroids falling, burning, disappearing. Then, okay, why does frame by frame back not work? Okay, let's go frame by frame forward. I want to see whether those stars had colors to them or not, or were they just trails. Come on. No, just trails. I thought it might be yellow and purple, but alas. The Swan Songs of the Valkyries Symphogear Finn. Well, if that doesn't say the end of the series, I don't know what does. So this is the end. An end of an era. An end of an era. Oh boy. Oh boy. I have so much to talk about. What should I go over first? I wonder. Theories from episode 1? Or my impressions of the episode? I'm not sure. You know what? Let's talk about my impressions of the episode first, I think. That was a fitting finale, for sure. Fitting, and yet really left me wanting more. But not because it was too little, but rather because there is so much more still. Right, I said that I will talk about one particular moment when I thought there might be some more stuff to the show, some more seasons and whatnot. This is the moment when they descend into the core and there are brand new enemies inside. I thought they might have used that moment for a sequel, for one more season, post-apocalyptic Earth with those flying things emerging from the center of the Earth, attacking people, and Symphogear powers are still needed to save humanity from those things, and to eventually find their way into the center of the Earth, or to keep destroying Yggdrasils and reclaiming the Earth for humanity again. That would make for a cool additional season. But alas. And honestly, it was a fitting finale still. Left me wanting more, mostly because the ending felt maybe not rushed, but simple. The fact that Miku and Hibiki's Talk no Jutsu was enough to just change Shemha's mind and have Shemha help them at the end, that felt a little underwhelming, not gonna lie. It really did feel underwhelming, but fitting at the same time. I'm very ambivalent about it. On one hand, I really do like it, the symbolism of it, the contents, so to speak, of it, right? What they were talking about, and that they did manage to convince Shemha that, hey, humanity can manage. And the fact that we are all different, we are all separate, is a benefit actually. We like it that way. I really liked it. But on the other hand, the fact that, yet again, they saved themselves and the world, kinda sorta, with Toku no Jutsu. I'm usually not a huge fan of Toku no Jutsu. On the other hand, it makes sense. Hibiki is the one to connect. Hibiki's power is to connect people, to make them understand each other and whatnot. And at that moment, Hibiki executed her powers fully and made Shemha understand them. Hibiki, Miku, and Shemha connected in that instance and understood each other. So I guess, you know what? I like it after all. I like it. It makes sense, fits thematically, fits the characters. The fact that I expected some another epic fight doesn't matter. We did get a decently epic fight anyway, so I'm fine with Toku no Jutsu solving problems, especially since Toku no Jutsu is kind of Hibiki's shtick. Far as fighting goes, again, I was expecting some more outlandish things to happen, but besides the Gundam that was used as a projectile anyway, nothing particularly outlandish happened. And I'm not actually mourning that fact, because it worked. It really worked, and I also said multiple times, I think, that I really like the trope where the most powerful weapons, most powerful attacks are the most simple ones, right? Like Bleach. I always give Bleach as an example. Ichigo's Zanpakuto, or whatever it was called, it was that huge hunk of metal, huge sword, and then it changes into the ultimate form, and it's just a puny little katana, but it's the most powerful. I really enjoy the tropes, and it was kinda that. The design of everybody has been also streamlined and simplified to fit that trope. Everybody is using their weapons in a very simple way. Tsubasa just swings her sword. Nobody even used any like special attacks with a title screen and all. Because all that glory was left for Hibiki and Metatonia. I think that's why. By lowering the amount of glory for everybody else, they exemplified and elevated the amount of glory that Hibiki got from her attack. That's cool. I like it. I really do like the resolution. I really, really, really do like Hibiki and her way of going about things. I know you're saying I won't, but I will. Simple as. I know you're saying it makes no sense, but even though I'm just gonna do it, I really like the brick-headedness of Hibiki. It's kind of refreshing, you know? Like, there's plenty of idiot protagonists in anime who are idiots and kind of just, you know, work their way through the hardships and somehow manage, mostly through sheer luck or through the help of others and whatnot, and not my favorite trope. Hibiki, meanwhile, she's not an idiot per se, but she is brick-headed, she is stupid, and at times she can be an idiot, but in a very, very different way. It's not her flaw. It's her strength. That she doesn't overthink things. She's simple. She's not spending the time to despair because the enemy told her that they're undefeatable and oh no, they're undefeatable, how will I defeat them? No, Hibiki just is like, oh yeah, right, we'll see about that, and punches them anyway. And if a punch doesn't work, she punches again and again and again and again until it works or until she lies defeated. I really like it about her. She's not overthinking. She doesn't give in to enemy manipulation, like, you know, getting into her head. Sometimes she does, but usually soon after she has the moment of datoshitemo and goes and fight anyway and wins. It's refreshing and it's really cool, and I really like that about Hibiki. One thing that's kind of a pity in this episode, speaking of characters, is that we won't spend any more time with Miku. I was really hoping we're gonna have an episode or two of Miku also joining us in a fight, of what kind of attacks Miku will have, what's her henshin gonna be like, you know, all those things. But alas, she henshined off screen for just a few minutes, and after that everybody lost their powers, I'm assuming. So we'll never see. And what's happening to my hair back there? And that's a pity. That's a huge pity and a huge shame, because I really was hoping for a few episodes of the 7 Rangers fighting together. Despite this episode being a fitting ending, a fitting finale, it really, really leaves me wanting more. Or perhaps precisely because it is a fitting finale is why it leaves me wanting more. You know, sometimes when a series ends, you have the feeling of, okay, that's done now, I can start watching something else. Sometimes you have the feeling of, okay, I'm finally fucking done with it, I can start watching something else. In case of Symphogear, I'm like, okay, I'm done with it, and fuck, I kinda want more. I kinda want more. I'm done, and it was a fitting ending, it was a fitting finale. It didn't end with a cliffhanger, it didn't end with any open threads, nothing of the sort. But I do want more. But on the other hand, I know that if they were to continue, it would feel forced. So it's better to end at the peak than have like 3 or 4 or 5 more seasons of it slowly dropping in quality and being offloaded to Mappa and whatnot. So yeah, it's good that it ended where it did because the finale was fitting, but it's not good that it ended at all, because I would love to watch 500 episodes of it. Filler or no filler, I would really love it. Actually, I wonder if how Symphogear would work as a weekly series. Not seasonal, but weekly. I wonder if I would have liked it more or less. On one hand, I can easily see the quality in such a case dropping, but on the other hand, fillers with their daily lives and some inconsequential problems of getting a D on a test and having to repeat it, or, you know, things like that. I would really like to see some of that. I really hope that the mysterious project they are working on right now will be a spin-off with just slice of life. It just follows from the beginning to the finale, and it just shows those missing slice of life moments. Kind of like Zetsu Shinai, but fully animated and full scale, like 24 minutes per episode. I wonder what they're gonna give us as the mysterious show, mysterious project. It's gonna be tough pressing that stop recording button, isn't it? But yeah, I think that about sums up my thoughts about this episode. So, series as a whole, maybe. I mean, what can I say? Symphogear is great. I really did enjoy my time with it. More leaves. I really did enjoy my time with it. The fact that I would love more right now speaks volumes. I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to rewatch Diabu's reaction series to it, or well, watch, because I've seen his reaction to the first season, halfway through the second one, I think, but not the rest. And now that I'm done with it, I'm gonna have to watch it for sure. The series had its highs and its lows, but ultimately it came out on top in my mind. Most of the lows were condensed in a single season as well, so I guess that kind of helps things as well. That it's not like every season had its low moments, but rather all the lows were amassed in a singular season. And that season as a whole felt kind of weird. We were introduced to Hibiki's father, and everybody's character growth just reset, and they had to grow as characters again from scratch in the span of a single episode, and the pacing was weird, and the characterization was weird, and it was all weird. But everything before that season and everything after that season very much holds up. Very, very much holds up. You can also clearly see the increase in quality, the increase in budget, the increase in love as the time goes on. First season didn't look bad by any means, but future seasons really blow it out of the water. Well, maybe not quite blow it out of the water, but you can see the improvements. You can really, really see the improvements in art, in henshin sequences and whatnot. It's gonna be interesting watching the first season now, and now that it's fresh in my mind, because now that the final season is fresh in my mind, because as you go through the seasons one by one, you don't really notice those changes. But now that I've watched the finale, the final season, going back to the first one, I'm guessing I'm gonna be noticing some significant changes. Character-wise, great, amazing. There hasn't been a single character that I would dislike. Like, sure, there were characters that I disliked, but because they were meant to be unlikable, although there weren't many of them, pretty much just Fudo. And I hated his guts because I was supposed to hate his guts. Not because he was badly written or badly played or whatnot, but because he was supposed to be despicable. And it worked. Every character worked for what they were supposed to be. And that's remarkable. Very often in anime there are, for example, whatchamacallit, comedic relief characters that are supposed to be funny and whatnot, but I most often find them annoying. There are some mascot characters that I fucking despise most of the time. Many shows try to do something with characters and do it so forcefully that you grow to dislike it. Not the case in Symphogear. Everybody is organic, everybody is real. Everybody works for what they are supposed to be, for who they are supposed to be. And that's great. There hasn't been a character where I would be like, oh, I wish they did something different with them, or they weren't really played that well, or I don't know. I know they're supposed to be endearing, but I hate their guts. Nothing like that. Every character had a purpose and fulfilled it. If I was supposed to like a character, I liked them, genuinely. Not just because I was supposed to like them, but because they were likable. If I was supposed to dislike a character, I disliked them, and again, genuinely. Not because I was supposed to dislike them. So everything works about the characters. Sans that single season where they all revert from their character development, character growth, and then have to regrow back in the span of a single episode per. That really didn't work, but again, it was just a single season. Everywhere else it worked. Story and world building, it's great. I love how even in this finale there are callbacks to the first season. that's great. It's not often that such a long-running series is so well thought out, especially with how they weren't even sure if they will make anything past the first season, and after they made the second one, they weren't sure if the third one is going to happen, and so on and so forth. So to create a world like that, to create so much, to give us so much world building, and to include it in the story right from the get-go and have it pay off 4 seasons in, that's remarkable. That's remarkable foresight. And I hope this studio, after they are done with Symphogear, they make something similar. I know that they made some other shows, but if I'm not mistaken, they were mostly adaptations and single season ones. But I would like a maybe not Symphogear 2.0, so to speak, but I would like them to make a Mahou Shoujo series or a Battle Shonen or, you know, something like that. Original creation, most importantly of all, because they can create great original stories, great original worlds. So give us more of those. Adaptations are cool and all, but it's the originals that are, in my mind, the best thing, because they show the most ingenuity and they are the least safe. Adaptation is safe because only light novels, manga, games that are already successful get adaptations. So of course the adaptation is also going to be successful, and they're not going to take any, any risks or anything like that. But when the show is an original, you can take some risks, and they might pay off. Symphogear paid off so much, and I hope the studio doesn't stop there, that they keep creating. If there's one thing that I wish there was in Symphogear but wasn't, as I said in a previous episode, I wish they did a little bit more with the henshins. I know you told me that partial henshins kind of sort of happened with Tsubasa henshining partially when she was under the effect of anti-linker, but her look, her visuals were full henshin. That Hibiki punched the noise before transforming, so that was also it. But I'm kind of missing something like, as I said, just Hibiki's right arm getting armor and nothing else. She just has her regular schoolgirl uniform and just her right arm has armor on it. Or, something like that. If there was one missed opportunity, that would be it. Any other criticism I would have is a little bit of repetition. Yeah, a bit of repetition that we could do without. Hibiki constantly having to relearn that her hands, her fists aren't evil, aren't a curse, that they can do good. That kind of got stale eventually. It worked in the moment, but in the grand scheme of things, you'd think that after the second or the third time she'd learn the worth of her power, the worth of her fist. But she didn't, and we had to repeat it pretty much every season, twice a season sometimes. So that's something I'm a little unimpressed with. I also wasn't a huge fan of how the first trio of alchemists sacrificed themselves, and the second trio of alchemists also sacrificed themselves. And if there was another season with alchemists, there would probably also be 3 of them, and they would probably also sacrifice themselves. I wish there was something else done with the alchemists this time around. Maybe join forces. I'm not saying in combat, but maybe help in the office. Maybe help them strengthen their relics some more. Something like that. Utilize them as something else than just villains that they redeem themselves by sacrifice. Because it worked once, it didn't work the first time, honestly, and I talked about it at length. The second time, in this season, it worked a little better. So, actually, it should have been Saint-Germain, Cagliostro, and Prelati who should have survived and kept helping S.O.N.G, and those three can sacrifice themselves because this sacrifice actually fucking worked and made sense. Besides that, I don't really have much criticism for this series, honestly, and as a whole, the good things far outweigh the bad. So, overall, great series as a whole, 10 out of 10, would watch again, will watch again, and will wait for more. For sure. You can be certain of that. You can be certain I will be waiting. I will be waiting and rewatching in the meantime. Okay, I think that about sums it up. So if that's all you were interested in, feel free to stop watching, but not before you give me a like, leave a comment down below, and maybe support me on Patreon. And if you wanna see my theories, which were true, which were not, we're gonna spend a little bit of time because I'm gonna go way back to the first season and look at all the theories and we'll try to figure them out. So, let's get to it. Symphogear Season 1. Miku is going to become a Valkyrie forcibly to save Hibiki. No, she wasn't forced into henshining. Chris joins thanks to Miku. She did, didn't she? Kinda, sorta. I guess yellow would be the most appropriate. Kinda, sorta. Ryoko rejects Fine due to the pressure from the gang and becomes good. Well, that didn't happen. Ryoko wants Hibiki in exchange for Miku. I don't remember what it was about, but I don't think that happened either. Artificial gear and artifacts weaker than real ones. Well, that didn't happen, which is a shame. There is some potential to artificially created gears, perhaps for military use or something like that. Lulu Amel equals humans? Yes. Mother turns into a monster and the 6 of them have to fight it. No, Mother never turned into a monster. Tokyo 24 Ku. Okay, Gia G. What else remains? School gets destroyed. Chris gets pissed because she came to love the school. Didn't happen. Wasted potential. Triple suicide song waves awakened Fine in Kirika. It was in Shirabe, but it wasn't the suicide songs that awakened her. She just did. So I guess red it is. Fine can control Kirika Shirabe if push comes to shove. Second personality. That didn't happen either. Next, season 2, episode 10. We'll see that girl again. Yeah, some girl appeared there, and I don't think we ever did see her again. Ver joins the team reluctantly. No, he didn't. Shokei Shoujo Virgin Road. Review Starlight, Shield Hero, Skeleton Knight, Spy Family, Symphogear GX. What is left? Hibiki uses family's magic words in her hour of need. Not really, she started using Datoshitemo instead. The universal power both alchemy and song stems from becomes relevant. Didn't really. Ver becomes a cockroach, he'll be back after GX. No, he wasn't. Megazord. It did happen in this season. It did happen with Kirika, Shirabe, and Maria. Hatarakuma Osama, Yofukashi no Uta, Meduka Meguka, Gundam Witch from Mercury, Gia Axis. Hibiki absorbs Saint-Germain's pistol, now can use alchemy. Yeah. Her Chrysopia form. Tsubasa's grandpa brings calamity. He very much did. Novice Alchemist. Okay, Gia Axis continuation. Sync rate inversely proportional to the strength of Balal Curse. That was never actually talked about, so I'm gonna use yellow. Shirabe in maid outfit. I don't think that happened. Mysterious Project is a movie that remains to be seen. Tensei Shitaraken Deshita, Saito-san, Oyukiyomi no Kaina, and Symphogear XV. There we go. That's a lot of unmarked text. We fight gods! Hell yeah, we did. Hell yeah, we did. Alchemist, befriend, and be they Hibiki? What? I mean, alchemist befriend, sure. Other country interference didn't happen. Antagonist trio of non-Gia users. Antagonist trio of alchemists. Villain Miku. It wasn't Miku, it was Shemha, but I'm gonna use yellow. Custodians are bad, but there are badder baddies. Probably not, at least there was no mention of it, no foreshadowing. Hibiki or Miku bleed out of their eyes. Surprisingly little bleeding in this season. New alchemists are modified humans, indeed, during experimentation. Vampire alchemist can see through Tsubasa's eyes. Fudo was able to see through Tsubasa's eyes thanks to Vampire Girl's powers, so I guess it's partially true, so it gets yellow. Vampire and Werewolf need blood to keep their bodies stable due to the changes. Everybody does, so green. Cranky old fuck turns into a god, becomes the final boss. Thankfully, no. New alchemists use Adam's experiments. Read when he died. No, they didn't use anything of Adam. Old fuck is a member of the lodge. Nope. Old fuck is not a human. Probably no. Fudo forges a god sword, but lo and behold, only Tsubasa can use it. That's a bit of a wasted opportunity, but it didn't happen. Miku uses Fudo's god sword. Nope. Maria's bloodline, Adam and Eve. Kinda sorta Enki. Not Adam and Eve. So I guess yellow. Fudo is like Adam created by Custodians. Wasn't confirmed, so false. Blast from Chateau clears divinity from Miku. No, not what happened. Custodians aren't gods, they're just advanced aliens. They refer to themselves as gods, but for us, yellow. Miku gets cleansed and joins as the 7th Ranger. Exactly what happened. Every blessing can be a curse and vice versa. Said by Hibidad, it became relevant indeed. Fudo killed by Shemha / Fudo jailed. Fudo was jailed. Wasn't killed by Shemha. Fudo kills someone and is killed. Is not killed, but does kill someone. Fudo attacks someone and is killed. So I guess that can be all red. Maria is a descendant of Enki. Kinda sorta. The song, but I guess also her bloodline. S.O.N.G base ship used as a giant gun. Alas, it's not Kill la Kill. It's not a trigger show. If it was a trigger show, you can be sure they would have used it like that. The way to defeat Shemha is an anti-language conceptual weapon. Nope. Earth is now further from sun, hence winter. We don't know that, and chances are we won't know that, which is a pity. All in all, I guess a decent amount of things I figured out. Yeah. The chapter ends. The chapter in the history of this channel, the chapter in the history of anime. I mean, it ended when this series ended. I'm just watching it after it's been released. So I can't say a chapter in the history of anime ends, but An end of an era for sure. I'm afraid for my channel now. Everybody will start leaving and unsubscribing from Patreon because Symphogear is done. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I promise I'm gonna be watching some cool shows as well, so please stay with me. It's hard to press that stop recording button. It's really hard to do that. I guess there's still Zetsoshinai's, and there's still the concert that we will see each other. Zetsoshinai's probably next week, and the concert either the week after that, or maybe a little later. I'm kind of busy at work right now because it's the end of the year. Everybody wants their grades. Everybody wants to, you know, bring some additional projects. So, sir, can I get a grade higher? You know, stuff like that. So I have my hands full of work. But then it's the summer vacation and I have 2 months off from work. Being a teacher is nice sometimes. Yeah, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. It's been over 2 hours. I gotta end this episode. I don't want to. I wanna keep watching, but I have to. I have to. I don't wanna go. I don't wanna go. Not yet. Not yet. But I have to. Every story comes to an end. And so did this one. And so will this episode. Tell me, what do you feel right now in the comments below? What do you feel right now, and what did you think about this episode, about my reaction, my theories, stuff like that? There's no risk of spoilers anymore, so feel free to talk to your heart's content. But if you do want to talk, I don't know, concert spoilers maybe, or if you want to post some images or videos and stuff like that, my Discord is here for you to use, linked in the description and also up here, so you can join it and use it as you would a Discord server, sorry. So yeah, comment, it really helps the algorithm and whatnot. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it for some reason, but please tell me why so I can improve. There've been quite a few dislikes under my Symphogear videos and I don't know why, so please enlighten me. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified of future releases of Zetsoshinai, of the concert and stuff like that, and other shows. Ancient Magus Bride, for example, Gundam Witch from Mercury, Madoka Magica. Maybe I'm gonna watch the movie now that I'm gonna have a day free from Symphogear, we'll see, and others that will be coming at you in the future. I also stream sometimes. The concert will be a live stream, for example, so you might want to click the bell icon to be notified of whenever I go live. And support the channel if you want, monetarily, on Patreon, for example, which is linked in the description below. You can join it, and for $10 a month you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Symphogear, Madoka Magic and others, and for just a single $1 a month you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits that you will see shortly. And if you don't want to support me monetarily, you can still support the channel completely for free. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you absolutely nothing and still helps the channel a lot. And now, with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers. And here's the list of my beautiful Patreons: QB Without a Net, Fruit, Purple Songs, Zay Rainer, Akomancer, Marsh, Yuki Ally, Fussel, Dr. Watt and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want, and no need to become a god to achieve that.